Hi everyone, this is Richard Osborne, the creator of LearnBook. I'm making this video today just to give you a very early demonstration of some of the core features of LearnBook, one of which is the ability to create your lessons, your language learning lessons online, and to manage what students submit to those lessons. So first I'd like to give you just a little background on the LearnBook project. I was a language teacher in Paris for 8 years. I was teaching in universities and mostly in business English training courses. And during that time, I tried a lot of different e-learning systems, most of the major platforms that are available in France. And I tried to integrate them with my teaching style. And I found that the best that I could do was to either use e-learning platforms as preparation for my training course or as a consolidation for my training, but that my classroom lessons themselves stayed pretty much the same. And at one point it hit me that language teachers, we really know how to do our job right. When we're in a classroom and we're in front of a student, we really know how to teach them for 2 hours, however long the lesson is. It could be 4 hours, it could be 8 hours. We know how to structure a lesson in a way that we are going to get to a learning goal, we're going to make it successful. So trying to complement that with something like an e-learning platform, for me, I realized is actually redundant, that we don't need something extra to what we're doing in the classroom. What I think we need in terms of getting the advantages of online learning, which is that it costs us less because we have to be less present with the students. We don't have to be as present with the students, but we can still bill them for the same time. What we need is a different medium through which we can deliver the lessons that gives us those advantages of online learning. So LearnBook, from its core, I designed it to be a system where you use the same teaching style and approach that you use in your classroom lessons, that successful approach you're already using in your classroom lessons, and you use that on LearnBook sometimes when you need that buffer for your pricing model, or when your students need it because maybe they're not with you, they're not able to be with you because they're far away, or that they have really serious time constraints, that you can just simply put that lesson that you wanted to do in the classroom, you can just put it online, you can put it on LearnBook, and it should function in the same way. You'll see that it's not exactly the same because, of course, we're not live in front of the students, but that by splitting up the different parts of a classroom lesson into LearnBook lessons, we can still deliver that same quality and hopefully reach that same objective as we would in the classroom lesson, but with the advantage that we don't have to be present for the full time that the student is on the platform performing the activities that you've set for them. So we get a cost benefit there as well. So that was the idea behind the creation of LearnBook. It's not like another e-learning platform, any other e-learning platform you've seen before. You'll maybe recognize some features if you're familiar with chat platforms like Google Chat or Slack, or any of the platforms like that, business maybe communication platforms, where chat is split into different parts, so it's easy to organize the different submissions that people are making. That's how I imagined LearnBook working with the separation into lessons. So I'll show you just a test group that I've made where I've already created some lessons, just to give you an idea of what that would look like. Okay, so this is a fake group that I've set up, and I've made some posts just to demonstrate how the group would work. So in your main screen, you have the messaging part of the screen, and at the left side you'll have a menu where you can change between the lessons that you have with your students and some other features that will be coming in the future, or you can change and edit groups, etc. And you can look at the different groups you currently have active. So let's just look at my first group, a pre-intermediate group, where I've designed some lessons. So this first lesson, I've added text and video to show the students what I want them to do. Then I've put another post with a video that I want them to listen to follow my instructions, to listen to this video. So this is the lead-in that I would normally do in my classroom lesson to get the students thinking about the subject of social media, which is the title of the lesson. So I've put some submissions. These are actual submissions that I got for a lesson that I did with the same subject, with the same videos, but on a different platform that I've copied and pasted in here. So as you can see, the student has written what they think about my question, and I've gone in afterwards and I've added feedback. The bits that are in red and are in green are bits where I've actually edited their submission to give them some feedback in parentheses. And the same here, same idea. If I wanted to say something more, I would just click here at the bottom, and I would have a reply window where I can type some more text if I want, like thanks for your submissions. And I can add a video if I want. I can add a video that I record myself, or I can put in a link from any source that can be embedded, that is to say YouTube, for example, Vimeo, or TED can also be embedded really easily in there. I can add audio that I record myself. I can add images that I put on the platform myself. You can add your own library of images, and links as well. I can add a link into the submission in a way that it would actually save the link, and I create a sort of library of links that I can access then whenever I want to make a post. So let's say I'll just leave it at that. Thanks for your submission. I'll send that, and that comes up. As you can see also, there's a system that tracks who's online and who's not. So anyone who's been active in the last 5 minutes is online, and anyone not will be not green. This is a way that we can track the time where students have logged into the platform. That's not important in every country, but certainly where we are in France, it's very important that we can provide to training managers and companies the exact amount of time that a trainee has spent on the platform. So LearnBook logs every time a user does something on the platform, so we know exactly when they were active, and we can count the hours that they were active and when on the platform. So you can see that that's lesson 1 that I've already completed, so they've submitted what they wanted. I've done my lead-in. Now I move on to part 2. So it's separated, each lesson part is separated. You can see also other lesson parts here that I haven't completed yet. These lesson parts are hidden. I don't have to show these to my group. I can see them, I can edit them, but my group can't until I click to make that visible. These ones are visible, so the students can see this part. These ones I can construct my own course before I actually show it to my students. So this one is currently open. You can see that I've asked them to watch a video of me talking about social media. The questions are in a link on the Google document that I made. You could easily put the questions in here as well. It's just I wanted to save some space. And I asked them to please answer by audio, so to encourage the students to use different ways of communicating, not just using text, because of course it's good for them to write, but the main objective of most language training is to get them to speak and to listen. So I'm prioritizing things like videos and audio. I've asked Delphine to send me an audio sample, so she's recorded herself, and that's posted directly into the feed. I can listen to that as the teacher, then I give some feedback below. I'm just waiting on the other student who hasn't answered yet. If it's been a while, then it was only today, for example, so it's not important, but if it's been a while, I could click the reminder button that would send a reminder to anybody who hasn't currently answered. So let's send it to Fatima, who hasn't answered yet. That sends an email to Fatima to say there's a lesson that requires your attention. So that is the core principle of the lesson creator. This is how I would structure a course. The rest of these parts could be, for example, this could be a more detailed listening in lesson 1, part 3. Perhaps this will be some sort of role play, and then perhaps I'll move on to the next part, a different subject, Ireland tourism, and I'll do another lead in here, and I can just, if I want to, I can create more lessons there below and just keep going with that draft lesson so the students can't see it. So just that was a pre-made example I wanted to show you. Now just to show you how easy it would be if I wanted to make a new course for a new student who have just signed on. So let's say I want to check out Alain. So I've got another group here. You can see that group is blank. So now say Alain is with me for 40 hours. I could already start constructing his course in the parts and lessons that I think he's going to be doing, that of course I can edit later and he won't see, but I can already get a head start on creating my lessons. So let's say that lesson 1 is about job interviews, because it's somebody who really needs to succeed in a job interview. So maybe the first part is going to be a lead into job interviews, and I know then that I want to do another part, part 2, job interviews. I want to do another part that's about, maybe with a listening track that I'll add a YouTube video, or maybe I'll add my own video of myself doing something. So once I've started putting in the lesson parts, I can already put in the text I want. So I can say, "Hi Alain, please listen to the video below." And then I could add my own video if I wanted to. So I can check, I think I have some in my library. Yeah, take that one. Okay, so it's just for an example. Let's say that that's the message I want to send. So I've already started creating my lesson. I could then add questions below that. Whatever you want, and this is a draft, so I can just start adding things. I can add more to it as I go. Maybe I want to add a YouTube video here below. I don't know, we'll add that in the second part of the lesson. So I'll keep this at the beginning. That's ready for Alan to start replying to as soon as I make that visible. Let's try starting with this, and we'll put in, okay, watch this video and answer, and say we're going to put in questions there afterwards. I don't have any yet, but we're going to go find a YouTube video. So there, that's, yeah, fine. Welcome to the late show, everybody. So just simply take the embed code, which is here, from YouTube, put that back in here, in my videos, link, done. So then that's my next video for my next lesson. So, and each time that I'm doing this as well, I'm adding to my library. So now when I look in my video library, I should be able to see, it's not, I can't see the picture there, there's a little bug, but that should be the last video, yeah. So that, normally the video would come up here, there's a bug there, but that will be all the videos that I've either linked to or recorded myself that are all collected in there, that I could just access really quickly if I want to create a lesson really quickly. So you can see, you can keep going as many lessons as you want. Now let's say, for example, that Alain's course involves some lessons that I've done before. So maybe I've already done a group before where it was exactly the same level and with about the same priorities for somebody who wanted to do job interviews. I could use a template for that. This is one of the key features for me, one of the core features, because when I was a teacher, the one thing that saved me from a long planning time was this build-up that I had of materials, where I had folders full of photocopies, a computer folder full of videos, full of worksheets, PDFs, Google Documents. I built up over time. Every time I created a new lesson for a new student, I would build up this resource library of ready-to-go lessons that I could just photocopy and give to the student. So I wanted LearnBook to have that same feature. So as this is a good example, once I've created my lesson here with Alain, with all the videos that I wanted to use, I can easily go into the templates, select these lessons, and copy them into a template. That means that when I have another student who comes in a month's time, I can just click that template. It will load all of these same lessons with the parts that I've written, not with the parts the student has written, but the parts that I've written. So this creation process will be a question of 3 clicks, and then you'll have all the lessons that you normally would have. The templates will also contain lessons that I'm going to create, the sort of master lessons that you'll have available that you can look at, that I've got from my own experience as a teacher. I know what sort of lessons you need to create when you need to teach a pre-intermediate job interview course. You know, I can source videos for that, and I can already create some templates for that. So the platform will have existing templates for standard lessons, but you can also add your own custom templates and start to build your library in LearnBook of ready to go, easy lessons. and that the thing that was important to me about that is every single lesson will reflect your teaching style. So every time you go into a template and paste that template into a new group or a new student, you're doing something that's just automatically going to be fitting your teaching style, the kind of videos you like to teach with, because you've chosen them and you've written the questions and you've organized it the way that you like it. So that's the most important thing for me in LearnBook, is to have that flexibility and to have that simplicity as well, that everybody can just use it the way they normally would use, the way they would normally create a classroom lesson. So I can't show you the templates right now because that feature is not 100% finished. But believe me that is going to be something that's really going to help in creating lessons. So that is it for the moment. And yeah, I'm going to create more videos in the future to show other elements of LearnBook. I just wanted to show the lessons today, just to give you a really brief introduction to LearnBook. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. The link is underneath the video. I'll be happy to answer. We can set up a Skype session if you want to have a more in-depth demo. So yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and look forward to hearing from you.